Hey, friends and family. Hey, loved ones. How are you today? How's your hearts? How are you? How are you feeling? Wow, it has been a lot of stuff to process lately and just take in or make room for or just allow. And that's the best advice I keep running with, or I get to be with, is just to make the room and make the space for all the things that are currently happening, or yeah, just what is, and not trying to fix it, not trying to change it, or not trying to get rid of it in certain ways, but just allowing it to be and to be moved or to be removed. So there's been a lot of interesting things that have come up in the last week or two. Yeah, for sure. Um, Man, it was kind of a challenging, yeah, last couple weeks. But there's been like really good, amazing things that have happened too, like getting through some of those more uncomfortable and unpleasant or just awkward, unfamiliar, sometimes scary things that come up. And wow, like I've been all over the place like this week, but it's been good because remembering to witness, observe, and surrender and trust that this is all happening for us. And even when it's messy, which I don't like the mess, I have an aversion to the mess sometimes. And and sometimes I get so overwhelmed with the mess because it feels like there's so much to clean up. But like, yeah, birth is messy, death is messy, sex is messy, life is messy. And so we can't sanitize everything and yeah, keep it all tidy all the time. And so sometimes things do need to fall apart. And there needs to be, yeah, that storm that comes in and, yeah, stirs the shit up sometimes. And then, yeah, and we can maybe do something with it once we've seen it. And so, yeah, it's just like about radical honesty and courage lately for me. And yeah, I'll just share a couple of things. Like, I think it was about a week ago, and I was just feeling like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of this. I am so tired of that. It was just like there was part of me that was just like fed up, like, and just at my wits' end of like, man, I'm so tired of, yeah, other people's shit. I'm so tired of having to like feel like I need to, yeah, clean up a mess or make up for something or take on certain responsibilities that aren't mine. And so it's just like I did have like this rant going through my head, and I almost like sat down and started writing it out, but I didn't actually. But yeah, the gist of it was I'm just tired of of doing things that don't serve me anymore for the sake of like false peace or temporary comfort or a reprieve from like stress. It's like a band-aid. Yeah, putting on a band-aid over something that really needs a good clean out. And so, yeah, I've just been really wanting to get honest with myself and honest with others and stop perpetuating dysfunctional dynamics and living out and enacting those lies. You know, just the things that I know aren't true for me anymore. And it did take me a little bit to see like where I was deceiving myself or playing into this deception and manipulating myself and others through that lie. And so it is good to see, even though it's been like a little bit painful and uncomfortable and unpleasant, and like how I haven't been honest in a lot of ways, but just to keep like a certain level of peace or like confluence going. And it's not really coherence, but it's the confluence. So it was interesting to be able to address some of that this week. And yeah, I was talking about Teal Swan's video. Um, yeah, are you honest? Are you only honest when there are like no consequences, or yeah, all that kind of a thing. And I was just like, oh, like there's some really interesting and like aha things in that video for me. Where it's like, oh, yeah, I can see like where I've been playing into that and how that isn't serving me anymore. And yeah, it's just like, how do you even go about like shifting that sometimes, or just saying, okay, I haven't been real with you, but I really want to get real with you now, and not expect there to be some kind of like consequence or an unfavorable reaction in the beginning, you know. And so, yeah, there was some things that came up where I just thought it was a good idea a couple days ago to just mention it to my husband, like, yeah, can I just tell you a couple things? Like, because there was a thing that happened between us like a week before that, and I didn't speak up. I bit my tongue when I let something slide that I really needed to like talk about. And certain things come up where I will like sugarcoat things because I don't want to hurt other people's feelings, or I don't want them to be displeased with me. I don't want them to be upset with me. I don't want to be on their shit list. And so sometimes there's things that I really honestly need to say, but I haven't given myself that permission or that space, or felt brave enough to be able to deliver it in a kind way, yet authentic, honest way. And so, and it's just like these little things as well, but like added up and taken as a whole, they're not really all that small either. And it's just not functional anymore, and it can't sustain itself. And so, yeah, I mentally tried to explain like some things before getting into like what was bothering me or what I hadn't been able to say. But I was just kind of like feeling his frustration about, well, what do you mean you haven't been honest with me? And where have you been humoring me? And it makes me feel like I don't know if I can trust, like, you know, what you say. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I am an honest person because I want people to be honest with me. This is just something I didn't realize I wasn't being honest with myself, and now I see that I am, and so now I'm bringing it to attention. You know, it's just, and it doesn't, and I'm sorry. Like, yeah. And just kind of not taking the reaction personally. Yeah, I guess I didn't really fully anticipate like how he was going to feel about it, like me disclosing, you know, just some some small little things about like, yeah, this is how I felt about that, and I don't feel like I was able to say how I did feel about it or bring up what I really needed to say, because I am afraid that you'll withdraw your love or your approval or your affection, or yeah, your acceptance of me. And that was really terrifying. It's like I don't want to rock the boat or make waves sometimes, but I see how in years past how I had been following that pattern in certain ways, but then there would be some kind of a overcompensation later where it would be a bunch of shadow dumping later, where like initially kept certain things to myself and suppressed them and squashed them down, but like in during other interactions or whatnot, like, then dump a whole lot, like, without restraint or without, like, thinking about what I was actually saying and how that would be received or how it would impact the other in certain ways. And yeah. And this didn't happen a lot, but sometimes, yeah, when there was certain things going on that need, you know, like, just like there was like just that last little straw on the camel's back or something, you know, sometimes. Or maybe it was just something seemingly unrelated that, yeah, it was just a weird kind of a thing. But I see, like, sometimes, like, how I can play both sides of the fence, where some of me doesn't want to rock the boat in a lot of ways and wants to just keep things easy and smooth sailing. But then there's another part of me actually that wants to come in and shock and awe sometimes and disrupt, like, the status quo or what's not working. And yeah, I have seen that, how I have this people pleaser, but there's an interesting shadow side to the people pleaser sometimes, where with this part of me knows that they can't please someone. They're not even going to try, and they go out of their way to, like, maybe sometimes play that projection out, um, to, like, kind of take on that persona or that projection, of the other that, like, kind of encapsulates their displeasure or their prejudice or whatever it is, because I already know they're not going to like me. I already know that they're, you know, like, yeah. I don't know if that even makes sense, but it was just kind of a weird thing where, yeah, for certain groups of people or for certain people, I wouldn't put on that act at all. And I was just like, I knew I didn't even have to waste my breath or try, like, to be something I wasn't, because they were going to have their own thoughts about it anyway. But, like, for people and relationships that I've been invested in, yeah, that's a little bit of a different story. So, yeah, I feel like it is funny in a lot of ways, because some of my, I guess, unconscious behaviors or unconscious ways of being sometimes, like, yeah, I didn't care if I provoked someone, really, like, just being me, just doing my thing, and if they had a problem with it, it was their problem, you know. And I could differentiate in certain ways, like, when it comes to, like, my preferences in the way that I express myself and the way that I express my own style and the ways that I dress and everything. Like, I'm not afraid to show cleavage, and I think breasts are beautiful, and I think, like, boobs are pretty awesome, and most people think that too. But it makes people really uncomfortable sometimes, because they have different ideas about what should be, or, yeah, and how I should be, or whatnot. And so, yeah, just been kind of looking into some of those things. And, yeah, into the shoulds and the shouldn'ts and the should be's and the shouldn't be's. And, yeah, what I can be and what I can't be, and what I have to be, or what, yeah, I've told myself I need to be in order to be loved, worthy, acceptable, or enough, and all those things. And this card is coming up a lot again for me, where it represents, or, yeah, they're archetypes of the good girl or the golden child and the wild child, or the rebel or the whore. So it's like the Madonna whore complex almost, yeah. That's coming up a lot to be seen. And also, I was kind of thinking about Gemini, the twins, and about those two seemingly opposite sides. And, yeah, two the two poles there, the two, yeah, polarities. And so it's been fun to explore that and to look into that. And yeah, I see like in my first marriage where I was so frustrated during this one, yeah, phase of our relationship together, where like things didn't seem like they were going to change at all. They seemed so stagnant. They seemed so stifling. Just I was so tired of it. I couldn't stand it anymore. And so I didn't realize how much I was going to hurt my first husband at the time. But like I just wanted to shake things up, and I wanted something to change, and I didn't. Yeah, I didn't really think about like the consequences of my actions or my behavior, the way that I chose to, yeah, shadow dump on him, and how much it actually hurt him. But he was so emotionally checked out and everything. I really didn't think he was going to care. Um, and so I really didn't like consider like that he, it was going to hurt him, and me divulging that I had cheated on him. And yeah, it was like I didn't really fully. I thought it would just be good for both of us, like to stop lying to ourselves because we were both really unhappy. And I just like all of a sudden, after a few drinks one night, decided I'm just gonna tell you how I feel and what's really going on. And boy, oh wow, that wasn't like how I thought it would go at all. Like, really, I thought we would probably get into another screaming match, which we were always like yelling at each other and, yeah, treated each other like enemies rather than friends and partners. But really, like, what his reaction to that wasn't anything that I expected. He actually, like, yeah, he had no words and he cried and stuff. And I was just like, wow, like, I didn't understand, like, this actual power that I have to be honest, and then like and the time and, yeah, the place and the way that it is um, actually, yeah, allowed to unfold like organically. And so this time, and it wasn't anything like that. It was just a small thing about like just a little misunderstanding that we had, and yeah, and then just like making new changes and kind of doing musical house. And because we've had so many changes happen in our lives that we're constantly like like right now it feels like the last 2 years is like we'll get rid of a bunch of stuff, we'll go to the dump, and then like there'll be, of course, like new stuff that comes in, and then we'll go and we'll get rid of stuff, we'll donate stuff, and then more new stuff comes in. And it's just like it's insane, like the amount of things like that have come in and out and in and out, and just like, yeah, been cleared out and then has come in and then cleared out and then has come in, and it's just been, yeah, just one of those things. And so, yeah, we're doing our best because we're growing creatively, and um, in different like projects that we're doing. And then we have our beautiful granddaughter that is turning 1 years old today, and she's been such an amazing blessing and gift in our lives. And so we've accumulated like a lot of things, like, and yeah, just making room and making space and stuff and all those things. But yeah, we kind of had a disagreement about like, yeah, different spaces. And he kind of felt like he was being cast aside or pushed out of the way, like there wasn't room for him, there wasn't space for him. And yeah, I felt pretty badly about that. I didn't know he had felt that way. And yeah, there was just some things that we weren't able to like communicate about. But yeah, there was a couple things that I wanted to kind of point out to him in certain ways, and I didn't really feel like I could. And because, yeah, I don't want him to be upset with me. And I don't want to be misinterpreted, and I want to be liked, and I want, like that safety and that comfort and all of those things. And so I've held back, like, when really, like, yeah, it could be easy. It could be really easy, like, for me to just allow myself to speak truthfully and not be, like, overbearing, and know that, like, it's my side, like, and my way isn't the only way. It's just, yeah, just where I am right now, and that's what I see right now. And yeah, so being able to talk about certain things, or say certain things without, like, that paralyzing fear of, oh my God, they're not going to like me, they're not going to love me, they're not going to accept me, they're not going to be pleased. Just letting some of that go, and, like, that false piece of that confluence. And so, yeah, it's been interesting stuff to work with this week. And so, yeah, it was, like, kind of a difficult conversation for a little while, but then, we got through it, and it was easier. And yeah, I feel like it is a good start, like, to being more authentic and more real. And just gonna keep practicing and trusting, and I am willing. So there's a few other things. Oh gosh, yesterday I just woke up and I felt like the most deepest feelings of sorrow, sadness, grief, depression, anxiety, just so super blah. Like, it felt so heavy and so sad. And really what it felt like too was, like, this part of myself that has been so rejected and not allowed to be, and not allowed to speak, and not allowed her space, or for her legitimate, ways of being a part of the whole, like this part, a legitimate part of the whole. And this aspect of myself that has been so rejected and has felt so much despair, and is so tired of not being included, and being just squashed and stifled and suffocated and suppressed. Just felt, and it was just like, oh, it was so uncomfortable, and it felt just so not good. Like, so it was really, it felt really hard to, like, just be with it and allow it. And my husband asked me, like, hey, are you doing okay? And I was like, no, not really, but that's okay. You don't need to fix anything for me. I'm okay. Like, even though I'm not okay, like, I just need to cry, or I just get to be with this, how I feel right now, without having the need to fix it, without having the need to change it, without having the need to get rid of it. Just letting it be, and letting me be, and letting it move through me, or letting it just, yeah, do whatever it was gonna do. Like, and a lot of the times I would distract myself, or just give myself a pep talk to try and bypass it, or turn it around for myself prematurely without totally feeling it. That's another, way of emotionally or spiritually bypassing, or mentally bypassing certain feelings that aren't the easiest to feel, or to be with, or to sit with, or to, allow them their own space to move through. And so I just got to do that, and it felt awful. It felt so awful. But there was nothing wrong. I knew there was nothing wrong. I knew it wasn't, like, and I wasn't attaching any stories to it, or feeling like I wanted to indulge in self-pity or anything like that. But I realized that it did stem from a part of me that felt so separate from everything else, and that is, like, a part of self-importance, like making ourselves separate from everything, or making ourselves, like, the only one that's going through this pain, this pain and grief. And so, yeah, that was pretty interesting. And so, yeah, just doing my best to take care of me, and just like doing my daily activities of self-care and all that, and getting ready for a little birthday party for my sweet pea. And yeah, by the time we left the house, it was like I was feeling like better, but I still felt like, oh, there's this heaviness right here in my chest. And it was like, it felt so close to like just breaking, and like breaking the dam and spilling open. And it was just like, this isn't really a convenient time. I don't want to be balling like at this party, and I don't want to pretend like everything's fine. But you know what? I just like, okay, it is fine though, because it is. And so, like, just going to visit and socialize, and seeing my sweet little, sweet little friend. I love her so much. Such a blessing. Such a sweet, sweet soul. Such a darling. Like, lights up my life. I'm so grateful. And yeah, just being with her, and she was just like, it's just the cutest, sweetest, joyful little happy thing. Just such an easygoing little rainbow. Like sunshine, little rays of the rainbow. And just like, this is naturally moved and naturally changed. Like, and didn't have to like do anything to manipulate myself or pretend or anything or play act. And it was just okay and fine the way it was. And so, just kind of, allowing it to be. And then it just moves, and it changes, and it transforms, and it's transmuted. And that's all it needs, is a little bit of space, and to for me to remember to breathe and make the space, for all of me and whatever it is and happens to be, like right now. So like, and it's only temporary, because everything changes and nothing stays the same. So it just changes form. So it is interesting in those ways. So just allowing the grief and to come up in waves, however, it wants to, and however it will. And so not my will, but thy will. So trust, love, faith, and grace, and that inner strength, gentleness, and kindness. Being kind and compassionate, and being able to hold that space for others as well. While they're going through whatever it is, like they're grieving or processing or feeling into experiencing. So I think it's been pretty huge, pretty great. And I have some soul collage cards here, and this card's been coming up as well. And this one says grief. Grief and trust, and asking for help, and just like knowing that grief is a part of love too. Love never dies, it just changes form. That's something that I got to hear today. And then also another thing that I got to hear today was like an ecstatic dance, or moving your own body. Like if you're having some, kind of trouble getting something to move, or if you want, like just feel like there's something that needs to move, just connect with the body, move the body, let the body do what it wants to do and move. And then that, whatever's stuck can move through. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is really good advice. And I keep hearing that. Like, so it's like, okay, I've heard, thank you, I'll listen. I can receive that, and I'll play with that, and I'll practice that. So it's good reminders and good messages. So a couple of the archetypes that have been coming up is the warrior, the healer, the peacemaker, the artist, the creator, the storyteller, the visionary, the lover, the mother, the father, the child. Just take a breath and let go. All is held in the well. What really needs to be said, heard, received, expressed, allowed, offered, shared, and forgiven. What is true, and what truly honors and serves the whole. What is the whole truth? And then a lot of like some of my insecurities and doubts that have been coming up, I didn't really like, man, have an understanding that I do now about it. But yeah, it all does have to do with spiritual imposter syndrome and those expectations that I've had for myself that I can never live up to and no one else can either. And so that's why I've been felt so disappointed, uh, yeah, with myself and with others lately. Um, yeah, for our inability to be, yeah, what I thought should be. And so, yeah, just getting and receiving and remembering a lot of that lately. And yeah, so my need to feel safe so that I can just be. And so part of that is just letting go of all the should be's and just letting myself be. And, you know, it's nothing new. I've said this before again and again. But now it's just like on a new level, like starting to take it in. And the seed was planted, and now it's now it is like huge, and I see it in a way that I hadn't been able to before. And so it's always fun when that happens. And you finally like, I see the light now. Yes, I truly like have a better understanding of how to practice and apply this and embody this. So, feeling safe to be, to express and embody my authenticity, compassion, trust, faith, strength, and mercy. So, I open my heart wider to my truth. I open my heart wider to my love, my wholeness, myself, my being. I am safe right here. In my heart, in my home, in my power center, my connection to all I am, my connection to the love I am, my connection to the all I am. I am, I am, I am, I am all that I know I am. Yes, love allows all parts to have their place in the whole. Love allows. Love allows love. Love allow yourself. Allow this space for yourself. Allow this love for yourself. Allow this love for yourself. Allow this love for yourself, for yourself. Let me be with me. I am free, we are free. Let love lead, let love soar, let love carry me and we. Let it be, let me be, let love be, let love lead. Make the room, clear the space, clean house. The informed field of the awakened heart. Purity, innocence, wonder, praise, love, gratitude, generosity, humility, and grace. It's all for you. Compassion and beauty, prosperity, value, receptivity, self-worth, self-knowing, self-embodied. It's all of you, all for you. That is an entry from October. I was just flipping through, my journal and just landed on a couple different pages and was just like, oh, I'm just going to bookmark these and see what messages I left for myself. And this is from October 23rd. Am I not allowed my own gifts, my own ways of being, my own opinions, my own perspectives, my own experiences, my own legitimacy, my own feelings, my own senses, my own ways of seeing, my own limitations, my own strengths, potential, and weaknesses, my own fears, desires, and offerings? So I'm letting go of the past and the romantic ideals of what should be or could have been in favor of free-flowing energy and authenticity. But I do feel some resistance, aversion, and there is some feelings of fear, jealousy, envy, pride, and vanity coming up. So interesting triggers or hooks this morning while I was reading a text. Feelings of repellence and personal resentment or lack and illegitimacy, better and lesser than, worth, value, stories of comparison and measuring. Like, I'm not legit and my love isn't legit, my ways of being and my gifts don't fit into the false construct of seeing as believing and prove your worth. The idealist, the judge, the rigid guard, the prude, the savior, guru, sage, the father wound. So trust the unseen allies and the energies that are going to work in supporting this new earth dream of liberation for all beings, prosperity and freedom for all. They all must choose for themselves what freedom, love, and responsibility really means to them. They all must experience their own journey through their own ways of being. There's no need to take it personally or to take anything personally. There is no need to make anyone wrong or better or lesser than. We're all using different lenses and beliefs to navigate this rushing stream and this flood of information that we sometimes drown ourselves in. So I let go of the past with love. I let go of the pain, guilt, and shame that is no longer mine to bear or carry or hold on to or do anything with. Just thank and bless and let go and forgive. Thank you. Times 3, I let go and I return it all to thee. In service of the whole. In service to the whole. So there is what serves our true whole well-being. And there is that which does not serve this wholeness, fullness, growth, and well-being. It serves the cut off, separate self. And so, yeah, there are like a lot of things like that I've seen. I've seen those strategies, and I've seen like those learned strategies of manipulation. And so it's just like, wow, that was what I was the most angry about. Like, because seriously, like the manipulation is crazy on so many levels. And so it's just like, if I don't want to be a part of that, if I don't want to perpetuate that, I need to look and see, or I get to look and see, like, where I've been doing that, like, unconsciously to myself and to others, or like in certain relationship dynamics. And so I've been willing to see that, and it does take some humility and some willingness, like, to look at some hard stuff and some painful stuff and some stuff that, yeah, may be undesirable or feel undesirable or be judged as undesirable, but it's actually like, through that discomfort, like, that's the way through it. And so, yeah, I'm willing to be open to receiving and going through that temporary discomfort, to come out through the other side, to, you know, for the integrity of the whole, in service. Yeah, in service of the whole. And so there's archetypal themes. Yeah, different archetypal themes coming up. Yeah, around the Madonna and the horror, the dark mother and the femme fatale, or the wounded feminine and the distorted lenses around love, desire, beauty, sexuality, the body and the soul, the life force, the life-giving nature and the nurturer, the heart, the hearth, and the home. And so, yeah, that does feel like really, yeah, like one thing that we are healing the heart and the mind and then unifying them. Yeah. So they work together as one. And the mind can be informed by the heart. Through the heart. And so, yeah, there was certain things that I've seen this week that was like, whoa, yeah, all right, this is okay. Like, this is what it is, but it's okay. It really is. It doesn't need to change. And just because I have like a different preference or a different style of expressing my love and affection doesn't mean that everyone in relationship that loves me and that I love are going to share that same language or whatnot. But yeah, and that's okay too. Like, we all have our different ways of expressing ourselves and of being. And yeah, I can allow them their own space as they go through their journey, and I can allow me my space as I go through my journey, and we're all just walking each other home, you know, coming back home to ourselves. And so, yeah, it's been like this ego death and this like, this crazy like identity crisis. Like, we're all a little confused because we don't know who the fuck we are anymore or what the fuck's going on. And so, yeah, it is kind of funny in a lot of ways, but like, it is serious in some other ways too, or it looks serious. Some of it does. And yeah, just because we've been manipulated so much, or we've manipulated ourselves so much. And I feel like that, yeah, we've gotten so far away from ourselves and our true nature that it's no wonder, like there is this identity crisis and this false self that can no longer support itself any longer. And so that's why it needs to collapse, or it needs to fall away. And yeah, so there's some interesting things. I'll just share this page here, and then I have just a couple of card entries to share. So, identities, attachments of the and identities and attachments of the cut off separate self. So I've been having thoughts about television programs, or television, mind control, the power of suggestion, cornholes, slave training and conditioning, mockery, entertainment, entrainment, monkey see, monkey do, enslavement, influencers, influencing, perceptions, misperceptions, beliefs, opinions, stories, preferences, prejudices, trickery, manipulation, inception, deception, judgments, attachments, lies, separation, devaluation, condemnation, aversion, repellence, distraction, attraction, audience capture, mass formation, collective psychosis, and desensitization, trauma enmeshment, instinct injury, rejection or idealization, an inability to respond appropriately, to preserve life, autonomy, well-being, healthy boundaries, healthy sense of self, a hijacking, infiltration, agriori, imbalances, excesses, deficiencies, complexities, and complexes, suppression, repression, oppression, depression, isolation, confusion, torture, illness, and disease, cycles of pain, overcompensation, denial, and suffering, self-destructive fear, desire loops, misdirected energies. The scales of comparison are flawed and artificially or superficially weighted. Seeing the themes of lower scorpionic energy being illuminated for me to see into more deeply. Jealousy, envy, doubt, lack, insecurity, fear, desire, and inferiority, superiority. Loops of comparison. I'm so tired of resisting or fighting against or needing to fix or make up for all the judgments, all the misperceptions, all the errors, all the wrongs, all the projections, the attachments, the habits, and the imperfections and irritations. Trying so hard not to be in judgment or in dislike, displeasure, discomfort, dis-ease, because I felt like those were all wrong for me to feel, or wrong for me to express, wrong for me to be. Resisting those feelings, those patterns, or judging them, or binding myself to what I am not. So just be all you are, as you are right now. I am enough as I am. Forgiveness, surrender, trust, strength, and grace. Remember, remember, remember all I am. I am enough as I am. Can I allow myself to be as I am? Just know one thing and all one thing. Yeah. Everything and nothing. And as I am right now. And I'm not my feelings, really. I am not my thoughts. I am not my beliefs. And so can I let go of those attachments? Because I feel like we've had kind of a issue. Like differentiating between those things. Like sometimes we identify with our beliefs so much that when we perceive that our beliefs are being attacked, we feel like we're the ones being attacked. And so yeah, it sometimes causes a knee-jerk reaction, and because it's a fear-based strategy, because we want that confluence and we want that feeling of safety and all that. So it is interesting to look at. And so this is from November. Today I heard an amazing podcast about Wetiko on Alfa Vedic with Paul Levy. Wholly amazing, mind-blowing about the mind virus that is an agent of change, and that kind of forces us, to take that leap, and is that agent of change, that force that helps us grow, awaken, evolve, change and shift, and see open and flow, see open, soften, and flow, to free ourselves, to liberate ourselves, to free ourselves from this mental slavery. And so, this is kind of fun, to see some of those things. And I'll put a few links in the description box. And so I love you, I thank you, I respect you, and I bless you, I praise you, I see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, yeah. So I feel like that's probably good. I'm complete with that. There was some fun cards that I drew this week, and I shared a couple of them on my last video. And yeah, there's just a few more that I wanted to include today. And one was Blue Lotus, Intuition. The other was Echinacea, Destiny. And the last one was Rhodiola. Rhodiola. I can say this. Yeah, Rhodiola. Rhodiola. Okay, yes. Wisdom. And so, let's see. To find my glasses. So, Rhodiola, wisdom. Upright, magic, wisdom. Wisdom keeper, purity, higher consciousness, clarity, intuitive, intellect, enchantment. The astrological ruler is Uranus and Mercury. For centuries, rhodiola, or golden root, has been used in Russian and Scandinavian traditional medicine. Many studies have been published on this root as it has been used to increase physical endurance, longevity, energy, productivity, and resistance to high-altitude sickness, and to treat fatigue, depression, anemia, impotence, gastrointestinal ailments, infections, and nervous system disorders. In Asia, it is called plateau ginseng, and Tibetans consider rhodiola root to be a sacred herb. It has been used by the Tibetan and other Himalayan peoples as a tonic herb, while Himalayan Buddhist monks use the herb to enhance their spiritual power and increase concentration, mental capacity, memory, and endurance. The Viking used this aromatic roots of rhodiola to fight infections and increase sexual prowess and sensual appetites and enhance fertility. The Alaskan, Inupiat, and other Alaskan natives used it as a medicine and food, made tea from the flowers or the 4 to 5-year-old roots, and used the leaves and stems in salad and even sauerkraut. To this day, mountain villages in Siberia use a bouquet of the sought-after roots prior to marriage to enhance loyalty, birth of healthy children, and increase fertility. Chinese emperors would send group expeditions to Siberia to harvest wild golden roots, as they knew it was the Siberian people's secret to staying strong and vibrant through the harshest of conditions. Rhodiola, ruled by Uranus and Mercury, has the energetic signature of the elusive unicorn, embodying the elements of intelligence, purity, fierce intuition, mastery, and wisdom. Unicorns are gatekeepers, ancient protectors of the forest. Like Uranus, your genius brings lightning like brilliance to the moment, insight without bias, and intellect founded on intuition and grounded with the power of truth. On the contrary, this can signify a time of mental or emotional blockage, disconnection to divinity, intellect without intuition, and emotional immaturity. Guidance. The unicorn is known as the great protector of the forest. Like rhodiola, some unicorns are said to live near high mountains to this day, nourishing and protecting the wise and ancient forests left. Rhodiola is in your cards today to remind you that you are intelligence embodied, intuitive, articulate, and knowledgeable. You exude mastery, wisdom, purity, authority, and wisdom. Emotions do not cloud your judgments. Your actions are measured carefully and intuitively, as you contain ancient codes on the ways of heaven and earth. The subtle essence of the unicorn resides in the third eye. If unicorn medicine comes to you, your sense of wise creativity and aliveness will deepen. Don't neglect your medicine. Honor your natural gifts, stand tall, own your medicine, and who you are becoming. So wow, that one was beautiful, and thank you. And yeah, I love the unicorns, and I love the plants, and yeah, all of these things that do serve our well-being and the integrity of the whole. And so here I will share Blue Lotus, intuition. Intuitive knowing, unearthing the subconscious, meeting the guardians of mystery, dream work, and initiation. The sacred and mystical blue lotus, regarded as the flower of enlightenment, is an ethnobotanical treasure that has been recorded in ancient scriptures as a heal-all and is revered as an ancestral flower in mythological creation stories. Blue lotus is a water lily best known for its powers of euphoria, intuition, rejuvenation, and aphrodisia. Blue lotus was associated with the Egyptian sun god Ra, the ruler and bringer of light. It was used in religious rites and ceremonies led by shamanic priests to induce a trance state so one could commune with the gods. It was also used in funerary ceremonies after the death of a loved one, as blue lotus is said to assist the soul in entering the light. The ancient Maya also revered the blue lotus and the water lilies and referred to it in Natal as, oh, I'm going to butcher this, but it looks like Quetzalcoatl, meaning precious water flower. Blue lotus, although revered as the flower of the sun, embodies both solar and lunar elements chemically. It contains a natural antispasmodic and relaxant called Nuciferra. That's the moon, along with aporphine, which produces a sense of euphoria and bliss. That's the sun. So these alkaloids, among other medicinal components, bring about pain relief, stress relief, and a lucid awareness. Guidance. The blue lotus is a direct doorway, a mediator into the world of the gods. The perfected balance that it bestows us assists us in bridging and refining the divine connection between the heart and brain. Blue Lotus today is assisting you in widening the portals of your intuitive powers, granting you access to the realms of inner knowledge held within the great mystery. Remember, the lotus rises from the depths of muddy waters, untouched and impeccable, to blossom into majestic beauty. Don't allow the muddy waters of the blossoming process to suppress your intuition and your belief in yourself. Trust the process and believe in the mystery. Listen deeply to the guardians of mystery as you unfold from darkness. Wow, I thought that was beautiful and amazing as well. And then Echinacea, destiny. Wheel of change, life cycles, destiny, and bigger vision, fortune and fate. Astrological ruler is Jupiter and Pluto. So many Native American people consider Echinacea to be a protective spirit medicine, and some of the root is often included in medicine pouches worn around the hip or the neck. The Navajo consider Echinacea to be a life medicine, one of the 40 ceremonial plants used for specific healing rituals. On the Great Plains, Echinacea washes and poultices are favored to dress wounds, staunch infection, as provide pain relief for sore or torn muscles. The seeds and roots of the variety known as pale purple cornflower were popularly used in a decoction to cure colds and flus, reduce fevers, soothe burns and boils, and treat arthritis and rheumatism. Many Native American tribes also call it snake root, as it was used as an anti-venom for rattlesnake bites. In sweat lodge ceremonies, the roots were chewed to assist in purification and adaptation and to ease pain. The plant was strewn across hot coals to add to the steam and was said to help participants withstand the heat. The Omaha Native American tribe would coat their hands in macerated echinacea roots so they could take hot food out of the boiling pots without being burned by the heat. To this day, echinacea is used prominently worldwide and proven effective in fighting infections and combating colds, flus, and upper respiratory infections. Echinacea primarily tackles the liver, the blood, and the stimulation of the immune system, all of which falls under Jupiter's rulership. Jupiter's herbs, like echinacea, have a powerful ability to prevent the damaging effects of stress on the organs, enabling deep protection on a multi-organ level. So Jupiter's herbs, like echinacea, have a powerful ability to prevent the damaging effects of stress on the organs, enabling deep protection on a multi-organ level. Guidance. The snake eating its tail, the Ouroboros, is the wheel of change, resembling the cycles of life and death. The sun and moon orbit and spin the wheel of change, representing our earthly domain. The echinacea sprouting in the center represents evolutionary consciousness, unbound by the confines of destiny. Like the Wheel of Fortune, this card may signal a twist of fate, a time where something in life shifts us and reorients us elsewhere. Echinacea has shown up in your cards today to remind you that the universe is always in motion and nothing is by accident. The key to see through the cycles of destiny is to remain centered and fluid, flowing with the course of life. The elusive judgments of good and bad only limits the vision of the great understanding. Step back and observe the great vision at play and be unbound by the passing influences. So, wow. So I'm just going to leave it at that for with that. That was the Herbal Astrology Oracle Guidebook by Adriana Ayales, or Ayales. And I'll put a few, little words and some descriptions and all these things in the little box there. And in the comment section, sometimes I run out of room, so I'll share information in those places if you're curious to know more or learn more. And I also picked up this oracle deck today, and this week, and the Wisdom of Avalon guidebook. So the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. And I opened this one up today to Partnership 32. You're put on notice to seek connection in all things. This is coming together. This is the coming together of ideas, the fulfillment of attraction, the marriage between two people, and the harmonious blending of energies. If you're inquiring about a partnership of any kind, this signifies the importance of serving the qualities that this relationship creates as a result of the sum of its parts. If you're inquiring about a partnership of any kind, this signifies the importance of observing the qualities that this relationship creates as a result of the sum of its parts. There's always much to learn in the choice of partners. When you receive the blessing of partnership on this part of your journey, it's a sign that the object of your inquiry may indeed give you what you need. It's a portent of opportunity where the partnership exceeds the potential of the individual. This sacred journey marker reminds you that you're never alone and that there's also always a partnership with the divine. It is a very auspicious omen. So I thought that was pretty awesome and great. And then there's this one, the cat, independence and healthy boundaries. The cat reminds you of independence and to set healthy boundaries. Love with freedom. Do not look to own what you desire, for too much attachment can lead to loss. The cat lends you its power to live freely and to remember that the adventure is just beginning. Don't forget that the cat has 9 lives and always lands on its feet. It manages to get up unscathed from a fall no matter what happens. On this leg of your journey, you will emerge safe and sound, live freely, love without unhealthy attachment, and remember that with Cat as your companion, you may fully immerse yourself in life, for there will be many more lives to come. Yay. And then Lady of the Lake. The Lady of the Lake represents the highest order of respect for yourself and the manner in which you operate within the world around you. She is the harsher element of truth, where denial is swept away by a tidal wave of events. In the ancient legend of Avalon, the Lady of the Lake presented Merlin with the Sword of Truth, which had been claimed by Arthur, who became High King of Britain. The magic that welded this metal was fired by the will of the god-goddess. Consequently, when the Lady of the Lake appears, she demands nothing short of total truth and integrity, and she asks you to be mindful of all the signs, signals, and omens that present themselves to you. This is not the time to second guess. If a signal appears, be assured that a challenge has been presented. Moving forward without acknowledgement of the challenge will result in unnecessary difficulties. If the signal is to move, she pushes you to act. Do so, for a victory is imminent. Regardless of your question, the message is to take care when the Lady of the Lake appears, as serious business is at stake. The lady reminds you of your personal responsibility in shaping your reality and its consequences. Seek the sword of truth within yourself, and great success will be yours. Have courage, for when the lady appears, the strength of Avalon is behind you in support of your quest for wholeness and abundance. So that is amazing. One last card was 52, the mystery. This marker directs you into the unknown. This marker directs you into the unknowable mystery of your journey. It is the sacred place where all things are created but are not yet formed. It points the way to pure power and potential, which meets the magic of intention. It tells you that the magical, unknowable forces of destiny and fate are working in your life. The forces that you can never fully understand or control are indeed weaving their magic around you to help you fulfill your true purpose. There is, however, a warning to be humble here. The mystery reveals itself only when it chooses and not when or how you demand. The cosmic laws operate here outside of time and space, outside of human influence and intellect. Only hindsight will reveal their patterns. Only total trust and the deepest faith can be your allies when the mystery appears as a sacred journey marker on your path. Sometimes it may seem as if you're going backward, but truly, if you look at a spiral, it goes up, back, and around, reaching upward, although it may seem for a time that you are not. You are indeed progressing. Trust the mystery and keep going. For now, trust that the thread of your life is woven into the pattern of the mystery with beauty, grace, strength, and purpose. This marker is an auspicious and profound omen that shows you that you are on the correct path. And so, yeah, super awesome. Super awesome. All those love messages. And it's great because, a lot of those symbols are coming up as well, like the spiral, the sword, the chalice. Yeah, some of those things, the circle, the wheel. Yeah, having to do with the cycles of change and all of those things. So it's just amazing, like, how everything does relate to everything else. It's I hope you're well and doing like all the loving things that you can for yourself, or just be in love for yourself as you are right here, right now. All right, I love you and thanks for listening. We'll talk to you later. See you for now.